I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're exploring the enchanting world of Princess Penella with author Daniella Revitt. Princess Penella is not your typical princess. She's a girl who combines grace with grit, teaching young readers about the beauty of kindness and self-respect. Today, we're going to dive into her adventures that inspire everyone to make the world a better place, one story at a time. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her wonderful book. The links are below this interview. Daniella, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Yes, you too. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Let's give the folks at home an overview of what your book, Princess Penella, is about.
Yeah, can I just share a little bit of the backstory behind her?
Absolutely.
Yeah, she was never intended to be a book, but when I was a new mom and I had three girls and they were vying after different characters and dolls, I noticed there was like a little bit of a gap in the market. I couldn't find any characters that were known for their exemplary character of
Mm.
kindness and courage. So I actually created her for my girls. And I never did plan on making her a book until I other people started to find out about her. They read some of my writings about her and they kept encouraging me. And 16 years later, I thought, you know what? I need to walk the walk. Here I am saying, hey, girls, here's what good character looks like. Here's what courage looks like. And I wasn't walking it because publishing a book is very vulnerable.
Yeah.
This is kind of like my heart, right?
Yeah,
So
you're exposing
very
your
vulnerable.
soul, your inner thinkings, your inner workings, and an intimate story that you shared with your daughters, you're now sharing with the world. Mm.
Exactly. And so I thought that's what courage is being absolutely terrified and doing it anyway. So
Yeah.
16 years later, I published the book. The first book is actually just about her character. I've already written the second book, and there's going to be a set. I'm aiming for 12. So the first book is who she is, all of these characteristics within a delicate balance. And the following books will be about how those characters play out in her world as she goes about her days.
Wonderful. Now, did you start out by just like making up the story and telling it to your children, or did you write it down and read it to them? How did it go, the etymology of developing the story?
Well, okay, so what I actually did was I was like, what is good character? Like, what do I
Mhm.
want my girls to model after? Like, what are the characteristics I want to kind of call out and encourage? And I actually took a survey of, not a survey, but I took notice of all these really strong and powerful women in my life. And
Mhm.
I'm like, what is it about them that makes them so exemplary? And I actually wrote down those qualities.
Mm.
They're courageous, they're bold, they're delicate, they can hold their own, they're a leader, they're compassionate, they're kind. So
Mm.
I wrote all these characteristics and I kind of have a poetic brain.
Mhm.
And so within the next hour, the poem just came to me about who this person would be. And for me as a parent, raising my girls, I was like, yeah, I think when I see these characteristics, that's what I want to encourage.
That's great. I think it's very, very noble and a very worthwhile goal, of course, to teach these great characteristics and aspects of character to children. Tell me a little bit about the story, like of Princess Penella and how she actually shows children the importance of focusing on inner beauty and kindness.
Yeah, and so I think in this first book, it's a book one of 12. And these
Mhm.
are the characteristics that she has. Now, the second book, I'll tell you the various things that she does in a day, go to school, maybe she plays lacrosse, maybe she goes to dance class, and things are going to happen in her world. There's going to be some bullies, maybe. There's going to be some times where she has to make a really tough decision. And how is she going to do that? How is she going to be kind, but still hold her own? How is she going to show courage when she's absolutely terrified? And so in the coming books, that's what it's going to be about. Is what does it look like that children can relate to? That children are they go to elementary school or high school if you want.
Yeah.
And what do they experience in a day?
Mm.
Yeah.
That's great. Have you envisioned this perhaps on the big screen or the small screen as a series? You know, Netflix could use some good children's programming, as could Hulu and Amazon and all the rest of them, right?
I mean, I'm a visionary, so
Yeah.
I see it all. I don't have the how or the methodology. I
Sure.
don't know, but man, anything is possible. That
Yeah.
would be great.
Yeah, especially once you put your story out there in the world, you know, you never know whose hands it's going to wind up in, and it could wind up into, you know, the right director, producer's hands that will want to develop it into a series. Now, your daughters, obviously, you said you wrote it for 16 years ago. They're older now. So what did they think of mom's bold quest to get this, and courageous quest to get this published and seeing the final product?
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know. They're so right now they're 20, 18, and 17.
Okay.
And I think, to be honest, it wasn't like I sat down and read this poem or this
Hmm.
words to them. It wasn't that. Princess Penella was all over my house. I made them actually bracelets, and that was a reminder of good character. So they kind of knew that. But to be honest, it was just kind of a map for me to be like, yeah, these are the qualities that I want to bring out. And I think now that they're young adults, uh, they're seeing this, they're not necessarily sharing with me their
Right.
thoughts,
Yeah.
but I know it's making an impact.
Oh, it has to, that they're seeing mom do something with a story that she developed years ago, and that, you know, they see another aspect of mom, which I think is always
Yeah.
a good idea as well. Is there a favorite adventure from the series, um, that Princess Penella goes on, and about what it teaches children about personal strength?
Well, so I don't want to give away my book too,
Okay.
but uh, basically I'm going to be starting out in like a child's everyday life. So
Mhm.
what they do, some perhaps social antics that happen on the playground. And the story is written in rhyming poetry.
Mhm.
So that's an added challenge.
Yeah.
And I think kids are really going to be able to relate to it. I love kids. I work with kids through my foundation. I'm I get an insight into their world. And so I'm going to have several favorites, but there
Right.
is more to come. Yes.
Okay. Sounds
Yeah.
great. Tell us about your foundation.
It's called the Intentional Acts of Kindness Foundation.
Hmm.
And it was something that we kind of dreamt up back in 2008 from a very traumatic time,
Hmm.
the traumatic time in our lives. And we were shown so much kindness. It was mind blowing to me. To this day,
Mm.
I feel indebted to
Yeah.
all the people that showed us kindness. And I thought, you know what? If people only knew how much a small act of kindness can change someone's life,
Oh,
they
yeah.
would do it more often. They would.
Exactly. Exactly. A chat with an elderly person in the grocery
Oh,
store, whatever it is, little acts like that. You know, I always say, you know, this could be the only nice interaction this person has all day, you know, particularly if they're old or they seem like they might be alone or something like that. And bad times and bad events sometimes do bring out the best in people, and you do see that people do have a good heart. They're sometimes focused on what they want to do and what they want to achieve, but I think when they see other people in need, most people reach out, which I think is great. The illustrations in your book, tell us about those.
I just created them with whatever means I could in whatever programs I could.
Mhm.
And funny that you should ask about that. So I don't know if you noticed, Logan, but in my book, Princess Penella is in the same pose
Yeah.
in every page. And
Well, she seems very proud.
I
I
know
pose
she's
like that all the
like,
time also.
yeah, she's always proud. She's never said no.
Right.
That's not the case. Because here's the thing. Part of me publishing this book in this way was
Mhm.
also showing character, and it was kind of showing, you know what? I can't wait for perfection.
Mm.
I don't have the money to pay an artist to draw this character in all these poses.
Right.
So I could continue to wait and put it off and not do it, waiting for this perfect moment that may never come.
Right.
Or I could start with where I am, what I have, and what I can do. And so she's in the same pose. And that's something I wanted my girls to see too is don't let perfection hold you back.
Right.
And now I have an artist that said, I love this. I would love to help draw her in your subsequent books. And so it's opened a door. So to all the people that want to write a book or they want to do something in their life and fear is stopping them or they're waiting for the perfect moment, it may never come. Just do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that is absolutely terrific advice for anybody who's creative or anybody who wants to achieve any goal. There is no perfect moment. The perfect moment is right now. Anything else is an excuse. Anything else is anxiety. Anything else is holding yourself back. The pictures don't have to be perfect. You don't have to wait till you get the $5,000 camera. Your iPhone will do. You're right. The moment is now. And so that's great advice that you put out there to the world. Before we leave you today, anything else you want the folks at home to know about Princess Penella and her adventures to be kind and good-hearted?
I guess what I want to say, I wasn't prepared for this question, but I guess what I want to say is, living a life of intentional kindness, there are so many benefits for the giver of that kindness.
Mhm.
And I think we as a society don't talk about that very much. But there is so much joy that comes from just living a life where you intend to be kind. And it's an intention because, like, we're all
Mm.
human. Like, I'm not
Yeah,
always kind. That's just a reality, right?
right.
But to aim to always be kind gives me joy. And
Amazing.
so I guess there's just a lot of benefits to, yeah, showing kindness.
No, I agree. I agree 100%. Whatever you give to others comes back to you 100-fold. I mean, some philosophers even say the motivation behind kindness is selfishness, if you want to twist things up, because
Oh,
it does so much for you, right?
totally. It
Yeah,
really does. And I kind of feel like, when somebody doesn't let me do something kind, I feel like don't rob me of this joy.
exactly. Come on,
Let
old
me
lady.
do
I'm
it.
helping you across the street. I don't care if you need help or not, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And so
exactly.
I think it's just really fun and it does become almost addictive. Like,
Exactly. No,
yeah.
I agree. I think the endorphins get flowing and you feel good and you're doing something good. It's a win-win-win for sure. The name of this series is Princess Penella. It is written by a very creative author. Her name is Daniella Revitt. And Princess Penella is not your typical princess. She's a girl who combines grace with grit, and she teaches young readers about the beauty of kindness and self-respect. Daniela, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you.
Thank you. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.